Okay, so the hair that I'm going to be working with today for this video is from Celie hair on AliExpress. You guys, I have heard so many good things about this hair company. So if you've personally purchased hair for them, definitely let me know how you liked it. So I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own lace frontal wig. A few of you guys have asked to see this video, so here it is. I'm just showing you guys what the knots look like after I bleach them. I just used my BW2 bleaching powder and a 40 volume developer, and then I followed up with the neutralizing shampoo and the shimmer lights shampoo, and this is pretty much how it came out. Now, the very first thing that I'm going to be doing is customizing the front. So I'm not going to go too in depth on how it is that I do this. If you guys would like to know, it's pretty much the same exact process that I did on my how to make your closure look like a frontal video. So definitely refer to that video. I will leave a link down below so that you guys can know in depth of exactly how it is that I do that. That video is a lot more detailed because I'm pretty much going to be breezing through this part for the most part. So what I will say is that it's a lot easier to pluck your frontal when it's wet. This is after it was freshly washed, and then I immediately went into plucking it. Okay, so now I'm pretty much just showing you guys what the frontal itself looks like. I'm always cautious not to over pluck, so I'm pretty much going to stop there at that point. Now, the first thing that I want to get into is these little T-pins that you're going to need, and of course you're going to need a needle and thread, and then most importantly, this is a size 22 wig canvas head. I just want to let you guys know that this is very important if you're going to be making your own wigs, that you need to know how to measure your around your head properly so that you know what size canvas head to get. Now, me personally, I've made wigs before on styrofoam heads, but these canvas heads are just so much better. So I definitely recommend that you guys invest in one of these. I use a mesh dome cap. You can use the regular kind, but I personally prefer the mesh dome caps. They come in size regular and size large. I always use a size regular. So once you just put that onto the canvas head, then it's time to go ahead and tack down the frontal so that we have it in position to go ahead and sew it down. So on the sides of the frontal, you'll notice that there's the very edge of the frontal, and then there's the line of demarcation rather where the hair stops on the frontal. So that little extra part that's padded, that's the part that you want to tack down right there and sew it onto the edge of the wig cap. What you don't want to do is sew down the edge of the frontal itself on there, because then your frontal wig is not going to fit at all. So that edge of the frontal should be hanging off. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to make sure I'm pulling it tight to get it stretched all the way across, because you don't want to have any bulges or anything like that in the wig. And then when it comes to the front part, I know this part kind of threw me off when I first started making frontal wigs, is the front part is not going to lay completely flat. It shouldn't be lined up with the wig cap either. What you're going to want to do is pull it forward about 1 inch so that it's like in front of the wig cap, as you guys can see. So by doing that, it's going to make sure that your wig is going to fit you. If you line it up completely, then your wig will fit kind of funny, or it might not even fit you at all. Trust me, after you're about to sew on the bundles and then find out that the wig doesn't even fit, it can be a real like hassle and disappointment. So when it comes to the back of the frontal, if you did everything right in the front and on the sides, then the back should be laying completely flat. If you notice that your back is like a little bulging out, then you definitely want to stop and do it all over again, because it's very important that everything lays completely flat. So at this point, I'm just going to be removing the T-pin and then just going ahead and sewing on the frontal itself. Now, what you don't want to do is this here and go through the entire elastic band. You're going to want to only go through the first layer of it. So don't go through the entire wig cap. Just go through the first part of the mesh that's in front of the elastic band. Because if you go through the elastic band, then your wig's not going to fit properly, because the elastic band is what causes it to be able to stretch to fit your head. So that's very important. You'll notice that along the sides of the wig, like as you can see it, they also have some type of stretchy elastic thing going on there, and you're not going to want to sew on there as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys watch this part, and then once I move on to the next step, I'll come right back. Okay, now that that is already sewn down and secure, what I'm going to do is be taking the first track and I'm going to place it as close rather to that edge of the frontal as possible. Now, some people choose to start, I've seen, above the elastic band part and start sewing above that part. I sew on it because I like for the longest bundle that I have to be the longest bundle. I like to just put it as low as I can. Well, in this case, I'm working with bundles that are all the same length, but me putting it further to the bottom will make it seem like it's a little bit longer than what it is. But it's totally a personal preference. Now, I do double my tracks. Once I get to the beginning, then I will start to single them out. But for the most part, while I'm in the back area, because I want it to be nice and full, I do go ahead and double my tracks. I'm not going to be cutting the tracks at this point. I'm going to be doing the fold over method and making sure that I just get it to lay really, really flat. Now, when I get to the top, I do tend to cut like maybe 1 or 2 tracks, but even when I get to the top, as you guys will see, and start to single the wefts out, I will still continue to do the fold over method until I feel like I need to go ahead and cut the tracks, just because I always want to make sure that my wigs are laying nice and flat. Okay, so just for video purposes, I don't normally do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of my concealer to go ahead and draw a line. That's going to tell me at what point I'm going to stop and start to lay the tracks straight across. So I've already reached that mark, as you guys can see. So at this point, like I said, I'm not going to be doubling the wefts anymore. I'm going to be singling them out, and I'm going to be laying them exactly straight across. Okay, so now it is time to go ahead and sew on the last and final track. So what I'm going to be doing, you guys, is I'm going to be going through the back of the edge of the frontal, and then I'm going to be also going through the weft, and then as I pull the thread tight, then it should meet perfectly side by side. What you don't want to do is sew on top of the frontal, because then you'll have a little bit of lumpiness and it won't lay right. So I'm going to be literally taking the needle, going through the edge of the frontal and through the weft itself, and then once I pull the thread together, then it should lay perfectly flat, just like this. So now that we are finished, what I'm going to do is go ahead and peel back this frontal part, because this excess cap underneath where the frontal is needs to come off. So you want to just be very, very careful with this part. As you can see the thread. You're going to be able to see the thread, but you just want to make sure that you do not accidentally cut any of the thread. Otherwise, all that hard work you just did becomes ruined, and we don't want that. So once I cut off that excess thread, and then I can finally scoop my wig back to see what it's looking like, I'm just going to show you guys really quickly how it is that I'm able to get the edges to lay extremely flat. So I'm just taking a look at it, making sure I'm satisfied with it and whatnot. I'm going to, of course, style it later. I'm not going to do any baby hairs with this unit. I may or may not later on, but as you can see, I didn't cut any out or take any out. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be wearing this in a side part more than likely. So I'm just going to go ahead and map out my part. And then what I'm going to do, which I think is a very important step, which is why it's good to work with your wigs on a mannequin head, I'm going to go ahead and mold this into place. So I'm going to be taking some mousse. This one is by a lot of body. It's probably my favorite one. As you guys can see, I'm almost out. But I'm going to be taking that and I'm literally going to be molding the hair down. So I'm just going to smooth it out with my comb all over the edges, all over where the part is, and all that good stuff. I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, it's all necessary. And then the key to making everything just stay into place and just mold so perfectly and nicely is your handy dandy hot comb. Now, I got this one off of Amazon. I've been using it for quite a while now. It works perfectly fine. And do not let these electric hot combs fool you guys. This one gets up to 450 degrees. It gets just as hot as my flat iron. So you want to make sure you definitely be careful. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to press the heck out of the edges, out of everywhere where I apply the mousse that I want to just lay extremely flat. If you're going to be wearing any type of frontals, even I use my hot comb on my closures, you're definitely going to want to invest in getting yourself a hot comb. It is a game changer. So once you are done using the hot comb, your wig should be laying nice and flat all around the edges and on the sides and whatnot, depending on if you're doing your hair in the side part or a middle part. This technique works for either one. So what I'm going to do really quickly is just go ahead and throw some curls in this hair. Now, if you guys would like to see a video on how I install this wig, definitely leave me a comment down below to let me know. I don't think I've ever did a wig install with not having any baby hair. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know and I will go ahead and do a video on how I install this wig. So yeah, I just threw some really quick loose curls in it really quickly. This hair is really full, it's really soft, it's very easy to work with. I've heard so many good things about this hair company. So like I said, if you guys have personally purchased from them, definitely let me know how you guys like the hair. I don't think I've heard anything bad about this hair company, so I'm totally looking forward to wearing this hair and letting you guys know how I feel about it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you guys found this video extremely helpful, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.